Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today I am going to talk about something a little more sensitive than usual, like how transitioning is saving my life. But the case is, it is not how you'd normally assume. As far as I am concerned, I did not have gender dysphoria growing up. However, what I did have was a history of abusive parents, and they kind of treated my body like their personal property. They continuously mocked my appearance, tried to modify me to their liking, and my own biological mother, did some unspeakable things to me that I am not going to talk about here or anywhere else, probably, at least not in the foreseeable future. But thankfully, they have both passed away. I mean, they were my parents, but they were not really great people. Anyway, I diverge. As I was saying, so recently when I began my transition journey to become a more feminine person or a woman, I had to start routinely tracking my vitals, like my liver enzymes, my blood glucose levels, my blood pressure, and so on. Particularly the hemoglobin A1C count, uh, because I apparently hormone replacement therapy can worsen your what do you call it, insulin sensitivity. I think you know the factor that causes you to develop type 2 diabetes or metabolic syndromes if you are genetically vulnerable already. And trust my words when I say that I am genetically very vulnerable to various diseases, like type 2 diabetes, hypertension or high blood pressure, uh, and a bunch of other inherited stuff aside from the trauma and abuse from my family from both sides. And growing up, I had a disdain for my own body. I am not sure whether it counts as gender dysphoria or something else, but it never felt like my own. I continuously felt dissociated from my body, not in the dissociative disorder sense, but yes, I have struggled with that as well, but that's a different topic. But anyway, I was used to feeling detached from my body until I decided to start changing myself deliberately. Like previously, I could not care less about how I looked, how bad my physical health was, how my hygiene was. I did not really care about all of that because, as I have said before, my body was treated like a property, an object, a trophy by my own biological parents. So it did not really feel like my own body. But when I started making the changes to myself deliberately on my own terms, I finally started feeling like myself, and that I was actually in possession of this body. So there's that. I am now more careful about my overall physical health and my appearance and my hygiene, my sleep schedule, and so on. That's one side of the story. And the other side of the story is that while getting regular blood panels and other physical tests done has revealed that I have elevated H1AC or hemoglobin A1C, whatever the term is, levels, which is a strong indicator for being diabetic. In other words, if I had never decided to transition into a woman by DIYing myself because the doctors wouldn't approve otherwise, and I mean, as I was saying, if I did not decide to just engineer my body into something else that I wanted to be, I would never have set my body routinely in the first place, and I would not have discovered that I was in the process of developing type 2 diabetes, or the fact that I have elevated liver enzymes like alanine aminotransferase, as and the other one AST. I forgot what is it is called fully. Anyway, I also have elevated levels of that and some elevated triglycerides, and I also bought a blood pressure monitor machine or a sphygmomanometer, the analog kind, so that I can monitor my health while taking spironolactone, the spirolactone, whatever the actual medical term is, and the estradiol oral doses. So yes, you will get my point. If I had never decided to transition, I would not have set my health, I would not have taken care of this body, and I probably would have succumbed to my history of family illnesses, and I probably would not have made it past the age of 40 or 50 if I were lucky. But deciding to deciding to actually take ownership of my body through extensive biohacking to become a woman has actually given me initiative to keep track of my vitals and take preventive measures early on, and with that hopefully it will, I don't know, help me prevent the onset of family illnesses and other chronic conditions, and hopefully I will get to live a little longer. So yeah, those are two ways transitioning is saving my life. Well, thanks for listening. I appreciate your time and patience, and remember, this is not medical advice. Kindly consult with a medical professional whenever possible. If you suspect anything is wrong with your body or mind or anything else, help is out there. You just have to reach out, sometimes outwards and sometimes inwards, but ideally both. Anyway, thanks again. Have a great day. And check the links in my description if you want to talk to me personally. Thank you.